Hey guys, in this video I'm going to review the MeiLong non-magnetic 3x3 for you all. So to explain the controversy between the MeiLongs, for 3x3 there's the MeiLong, then there's the MeiLong 3C, and then there's the MeiLong M. And the one I have is the MeiLong 3C, but it performs a lot like the MeiLong. And the MeiLong M is the magnetic version of this cube, but the MeiLong 3C is basically just a better version of the MeiLong 3x3 that's non-magnetic. And the MeiLong 3C and the MeiLong 3x3 are both non-magnetic. Now this cube is $4, so there probably are a few reasons why you're watching this video. One, because you might want to make force cubes like I did. Two, because you want to get this for a beginner cuber that's a friend. And for beginner cubers or people that are new to cubing, this cube is very good for them. Or three, just because you want to magnetize it and make it a MeiLong M. Now this cube would be great for all three of those. I'd really recommend it for new beginner cubers because this thing turns really well. It's a really fast speed cube. And I think it's a bit better than the Yushin Little Magic 3x3. I really enjoyed the feel of this, and the corner cutting on this is very good. Now, since most people have magnetic cubes, if you want a better magnetic cube, I'd recommend the MeiLong M or the Moyu RS3M 2020, which I'll have links to all of those in the description. But I'd recommend either of those if you want a magnetic cube that's good, since this one is not magnetic. But still, for a non-magnetic cube, it performs really well. And since everyone these days uses magnetic cubes, this one is kind of weird for me to feel since it doesn't have magnets in it, but it still performs pretty well. And without having magnets, this thing turns just fine. So in turning this has the same quick and dry feel that the MeiLong M has, and it's pretty much the same feel, and I really like this feel. It just needs to be lubed. So it has that same feel as the MeiLong M right out of the box. So if you have the MeiLong M, this could compare to it. And it's also very fast, so you can execute algorithms really fast on them. It's just unstable a bit, not too unstable, it's just a bit unstable because it doesn't have magnets. So if you get this cube and you want to magnetize it, good for you, but there's also the MeiLong M, and that's what I would recommend getting this if you're willing to spend a couple more dollars to get a magnetic cube that performs basically the same. It just has magnets. So the MeiLong M definitely feels the same, but I remember right out of the box when I got this cube, it was pretty tight, so you probably will need to loosen it if you get it. And the same goes for the MeiLong M. To be honest with you, this is definitely one of the best non-magnetic cubes out there, and I really like this even though it's non-magnetic. Now the downsides to it are, since it doesn't have magnets, it's a bit locky, but that's the only thing that is a downside to it because it doesn't have magnets. So if you get the MeiLong M, this cube will be really good, and the MeiLong M is also really good. So here are a couple solves I recorded for you guys, and at the time of this video I averaged about 15 seconds on the RS3M 2020, and on this I averaged about 16 or 17 seconds, which is pretty normal for me if I'm using a non-magnetic cube. But the difference I have on this cube is when I get, let's just say, a 12 or 13 on the RS3M 2020, on this cube I usually would get a 13 or a 14, which is a pretty good time on a non-magnetic cube. But for example, if I get a 16 on the RS3M 2020, this cube would usually turn out to be an 18 on that same solve. So on the good solves, it does pretty good, but on the bad solves, it usually adds a couple seconds onto your time. So that's one thing to note when using it. Otherwise, besides the lockups and instability, this cube performs very well, and I really like the feel of it, even though it is non-magnetic. So that pretty much wraps up the video. I'd recommend the MeiLong 3C if you want to get it for a beginner cuber, or if you want to make force cubes or mosaics or get a lot of these, because they are very good for those things. Now if you want to spend a bit more, then I'd recommend the Moyu RS3M 2020 or the MeiLong M, because those are also very good if you want to get a magnetic cube, since this one is non-magnetic. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.